Welcome to Over 50s Wisdom, whether you want it or not. Now, I have never been to California. I love the idea of it, but I know a man that knows all about California because he was born there. This is Bill. Hello, Bill.
Hello, David.
How's
Yes.
California these days?
Oh, California. Well, I believe on the ranks of most business friendly in the United States, it ranks at number 50, the lowest,
The lowest.
the
Why?
lowest of all of them.
Really?
Yes. And this has been a trend for a long time in California. It's actually why I left California, is because they do not support local business. And business owners have left California like crazy. I was one that left. I got out when the getting out was good. I mean, right now, quite literally, there's a company, U-Haul, in the United States. They can't get trucks to California because there's nobody who's moving into California. Everybody's leaving.
You are
And
joking me because I see adverts online and on television. Come to California. Everybody's beautiful. Everybody's having a wonderful time. The lifestyle is beyond comprehension. I'm like ready to book a ticket.
uh, it's baloney. They're begging. What they're doing is throwing what left of the government in California is throwing money to advertise, please come to California because there's such an exodus.
So
It
when I
began.
get there, what do I see when I get there? Do I see beautiful people and clean beaches and beautiful towns?
Sometimes you do, sometimes you don't. I mean, San Francisco's become almost a cesspool. I mean, literally, they
Really?
can't even get the trash out of the streets.
Why is that?
There's no money.
Well, why not? America's the wealthiest country on the planet.
Yes, but in California, government will take care of you. You don't have to work. And if you don't work, you don't support your gross product. If you don't work, you have to work. And California is a welfare state.
Right. So, because the systems in America work very differently to what we might understand in Britain and probably in Europe as well. So, California, in a way, is its own little country. I mean, it has its own laws and government, effectively. Am I right?
It does. I mean, that's part of the Constitution, which really isn't of much importance to lawmakers in the U.S. anymore. But California does have its own laws.
Okay. So, lots of bureaucracy in
It's
California.
it's and draconian at that.
Okay. But take me back in time. You were born and raised in California.
Yes.
And
Yeah.
how was life as a young man? What, 70s, 80s?
Yeah, 70s, 80s. I mean, as a little kid, growing up in Southern California, it was a whole different time. You didn't. I mean, California was on its way towards just liberalism. Even back then in certain areas, but it wasn't as rampant.
Did you leave your doors unlocked? How was it compared to the way things seemingly are today?
Yeah, it was radically different, radically, because back then you're right. We didn't have to lock. We knew our neighbors. We got together in parties to as a community. There was a sense of community there, and it wasn't necessarily the police. I mean, if it happened, I mean, okay. But I remember an incident, with my dad putting a guy at gunpoint on the grass. Okay.
What was he, a robber, or was he just
He was
a
trying to
friendly
steal
neighbor?
gasoline.
Okay.
He was trying to siphon gasoline, and my dad just grabbed his gun and went, "Put you down," waited for the police to show up. But we took care of ourselves as a community, as a small. We all knew each other. We played together. We drank together. We ate together. We celebrated together, and that is gone in California.
And what's it been replaced with then, Bill?
A police state.
Really?
It is totally different now. You're California, there's so much, every little jot and tittle is legislated. How you transport children to school, how you can allowed to pick them up, how you are allowed to let them play, how you are allowed to mow your lawn, how you are allowed to grow your trees, or are you even allowed to grow your own vegetables? Can you care for dogs and cats? That so much is just gone from the freedom to take risks. And
now, when did this change and why did it change? And if it's so bad, why did people allow it to change?
Well, it came with the political platform. If the government, I mean, it's essentially fascism. Okay, if you look at if the government handles everything for you and regulates your business, we can ensure that everyone will be prosperous, and therefore you don't have we'll take all of your money in taxes, but we'll give it back to you and make everybody it's fascist, but draconian and fascist. But that's exactly what they did. They really started it in the late 1990s when the real estate boom was happening out there, because there was a lot of money to cash in on. I got out right at the end of that, thankfully. I was able to sell a property and make some money and get the heck out of there back in 2005.
And you live where now?
Ohio,
Northeast Ohio. And does this suit your nature better, Ohio?
Weather-wise, no. I did grow up in the deserts of Southern California, and I'm still a lizard. So this, all this white stuff falling from the ground. I mean, and you go to Los Angeles and you say, "I want some snow." It's going to cost you $50 on a street corner.
Yeah.
Out here, it falls from the sky.
Okay, I'd rather it falling from the sky, I must say.
Yeah.
I have seen some videos on YouTube about little Californian towns, and they look like they're straight out of a dystopian movie.
Mm-hmm.
Are these real?
Yeah.
Well, how sad is that?
You know what? I like what was said by Nathaniel Webster. He was one of the signers of the Constitution of the United States and the Declaration of Independence. And he once said that government is nothing less or more than a reflection of the collective group of people involved. And therefore, if you look at the state of California, look to its people, because they are a reflection of its government. And that is the culture that they've strove to achieve. They wanted to achieve their own utopia, but created a dystopia. And business owners are running out of there. People are running out of there. Of course, the immigrants, legal or not, that are coming in from Mexico. I mean, they now have free healthcare, free schooling, and everything else. Well, who's paying for it? Well, there's nobody left to pay for it. All the people that actually do meaningful work have left. And what are you left with? You're left with a pile of garbage. I mean, California is done until they understand that it's going to take work and not welfare to fix their economic problems.
Bill, fascinating journey you've taken us on. Thanks very much for getting involved.
You betcha. Appreciate you, David.
Cheers.
Peace.